Have you ever woken up, stared at the ceiling, and wondered, what am I even doing today? You're not alone. After decades of working, raising a family, paying bills, and juggling responsibilities, retirement can feel like slamming on the brakes after speeding down the highway. Suddenly, the calendar is empty, the phone's quiet, and the people who used to need you don't anymore. It's a strange and heavy feeling, and if you've ever caught yourself thinking, I feel invisible, I feel useless, I'm not sure I matter anymore, I want you to know something. You absolutely do. That emptiness you're feeling isn't a sign of failure, it's a signal that your life is entering a powerful new chapter, and you're being called to redefine your purpose, not lose it. Because here's the truth. Retirement doesn't have to mean retreat. In fact, for many people, it's the beginning of the most fulfilling, meaningful years of their lives. You just need to know where to look and what roles to step into that reignite your sense of value, impact, and joy. In this video, we'll go over 5 powerful roles that can help you feel useful again, not just busy, but truly needed. Each one offers emotional rewards, real-world connection, and the kind of satisfaction that makes you excited to get up in the morning. And the best part? These roles don't require money, perfect health, or approval from anyone else. So let's start with the first one, because this one alone could change your entire week. Role number 1, the wisdom giver you've lived. You've failed, succeeded, loved, lost, and learned lessons that no classroom can teach. That makes you more than just experienced. You're a wellspring of wisdom. And believe it or not, there are people right now, maybe even in your own family, starving for that wisdom but too distracted or proud to ask for it directly. But that's the beauty of this role. You don't have to wait for someone to knock on your door. Being a wisdom giver means you take the initiative. You find ways to pass along what you know, whether it's through storytelling, journaling, mentoring, or simply having real conversations with younger people. Start small. Call your grandchildren or nieces and nephews. Ask about their challenges. Then offer not advice but stories. Share what you went through at their age, what you would have done differently, what worked, what didn't. You'd be amazed how powerful it feels to see someone pause and say, wow, I never thought of it like that. Your life lessons are gold. But like any treasure, they only have value when you share them. Role number 2, the quiet hero in your community. You don't need a cape to be a hero. You just need to show up where others don't. Every community, no matter how big or small, has invisible. There's meals that need to be delivered, shelves that need stocking at the food pantry, children who need tutoring, pets who need walking, parks that need cleaning, people who just need to know someone cares. And here's the beautiful part. When you help, you're not just giving, you're healing. Because helping others is one of the fastest, most natural ways to feel useful again. It gives you structure, it gets you out of your head, and it fills that quiet space in your heart that used to ache for purpose. Maybe you're not as mobile as you used to be. That's okay. You don't need to lift boxes or stand on your feet all day to make a difference. Some seniors call local schools and offer to read to children on Zoom. Others write encouraging cards to hospital patients. Some crochet blankets for premature babies or organize phone call check-ins for other seniors who live alone. One small act can ripple into something enormous, not just for others, but for you. You become the person who shows up. And in a world that often feels rushed, disconnected, and self-absorbed, that alone is revolutionary. Now that we've explored how stepping into the role of a wisdom giver and a quiet hero can reignite your sense of purpose, we'll keep the momentum going with 3 more transformative roles that might just surprise you. Let's keep going. Sometimes we think feeling useful means we have to make grand gestures, start a charity, write a book, be in the spotlight. But more often, the real magic is found in small, everyday roles that quietly restore our dignity, connection, and confidence. And the next role on this list might sound simple, but it has the power to bring your heart back to life. Role number 3, the nurturer. Without limits, for decades, your nurturing energy may have been focused entirely on your children, your spouse, or your work. But what happens when the kids grow up? When your partner is no longer here? When you no longer have that daily rhythm of someone needing you? That nurturing spirit doesn't just disappear. It stays inside you, waiting for a new direction. And now, it's time to pour that energy into places that bring you fulfillment without draining you. You don't have to be a parent or a grandparent to be a nurturer. You can nurture a garden, a stray animal, a new hobby, a friendship that needs a little extra care. You can even nurture yourself, which, let's be honest, many of us forget how to do after a lifetime of putting everyone else first. One woman I spoke to, Margaret, age 72, had 3 grown kids and found herself completely alone after her husband passed away. She felt like she had no one left to take care of. One day, she visited a local animal shelter and saw an elderly dog no one wanted. Graying fur, limping back leg, cloudy eyes. Something inside her clicked. She adopted him that day. Caring for him gave me a reason to get up, she told me. And strangely, in taking care of that old dog, I started taking better care of myself too. Whether it's an animal, a neighbor, or even a plant, nurturing something brings life into your space. And it reminds you that you still have love to give. And that's one of the most healing feelings in the world. Role number 4. The creator of joy. When was the last time you did something? Just for the joy of it? Not because it was productive, not because it helped someone else, but simply because it made you feel good? You see, retirement isn't just a time to rest. It's a time to rediscover. And one of the most overlooked roles that gives life meaning is that of the creator. The person who brings beauty, fun, and creativity into their world. That doesn't mean you have to be an artist or musician. You could be someone who makes handmade birthday cards for neighbors, or writes poetry, or paints small rocks and leaves them around town for strangers to find with messages like, "You are loved," or "You matter." There's a man named Don, age 78, who lives in a small town in Oregon. Every Sunday morning, he bakes homemade cinnamon rolls and delivers them to 3 widows in his neighborhood. "I just like seeing them smile," he says. "And I like how my house smells while I'm baking." That's it, that's the role. He's a creator of joy. And he's found a way to make people feel loved while also giving himself a reason to keep showing up fully in his own life. So ask yourself, what makes your soul light up a little? What did you love as a child that you haven't touched in years? Maybe it's sewing, or writing letters, or singing, or dancing around the living room when no one's watching. Whatever it is, lean into it. Because joy is not just a feeling, it's fuel. And the more you create it, the more alive you'll feel. Role 35, the guide to the next generation. Now this one is big. It's something that society often forgets, but our hearts never do. After retirement, many seniors feel like they've lost their voice, that they've become background noise in a world obsessed with youth and speed. But you were never meant to fade away. You were meant to guide. Throughout history, the elders of every community were respected, even revered, as keepers of tradition, perspective, and truth. They didn't try to compete with the young. They helped shape them. And that role still exists today. It just needs to be reclaimed. Whether you're 60, 70, 80, or beyond, you still have the power to influence someone's life path, to teach the next generation what matters, to be the voice that says, "You'll get through this," or "This is what really counts." You don't have to be a public speaker or a professor. You just have to be present, be intentional, be available. There are thousands of young people right now, teens, new parents, struggling adults, who are quietly drowning in uncertainty, comparison, anxiety. And they desperately need a calm, grounded presence to help them see a bigger picture. You could start by offering to mentor someone at your church or community center, or just striking up a friendly conversation at the grocery store with a younger cashier. You never know who might be carrying a heavy burden and need to hear exactly what you have to say. But perhaps the most powerful thing you can do as a guide is to model what aging with grace looks like. To walk with your head high. To show that a life past 60 can be full of laughter, strength, and wisdom. To live as proof that purpose doesn't expire with your career, your presence, Your calm, your patience, your story can change the way someone views their own life. And that, my friend, is a sacred gift. Being a guide doesn't always mean giving advice. Sometimes it's about listening, really listening. When you take the time to hear someone out, without rushing to correct them or insert your story, you show them something incredibly rare in today's world: patience. You show them that their words matter. A retired bus driver named James told me that after he stopped working, he felt invisible, like no one cared what he thought anymore. Until one day, he struck up a conversation with a teenager sitting alone at the park. That young man turned out to be dealing with serious anxiety and family issues. James didn't fix anything. He just listened, nodded, shared a few thoughts, and promised to be back the next day. They ended up meeting weekly. He called me his Wednesday anchor, James told me. I didn't do much, but somehow I mattered again. You see, the role of a guide isn't about changing the world all at once. It's about being a steady light for someone else when they need it most. You've already walked through life's storms. You've got the maps, the compass, the scars. Now, someone out there needs you to simply walk beside them while they find their way. Even your grown children may need that quiet guidance, not through control or criticism, but through presence, patience, and stories. Instead of saying, "You should do this," try saying, "Here's what I learned when I was in a similar spot." Share your mistakes, your turning points, your small victories. They matter more than you think. So if you're sitting there wondering if you still have something to offer this world, I want you to know, you absolutely do. The wisdom you carry, the calm, the resilience, the perspective you've earned through decades of living is priceless. Someone out there is waiting to learn from you. Now, as we step back and look at all 5 roles, the neighbor, the student, the nurturer, the creator of joy, and the guide, you'll notice something powerful. Not a single one of these roles requires you to be rich, famous, or physically perfect. They don't depend on youth or titles or status. They're about who you are at your core and how you choose to show up in the world around you. And maybe that's the most beautiful part of retirement. Yes, your career may be over. The kids may have moved out, the routines may have changed, but what you gain is the freedom to choose who you want to be every single day. No more chasing promotions or trying to prove yourself to people who never really saw you. Now it's about meaning, depth, joy, love. It's about choosing to become the version of yourself that you never had time to fully embrace. If you've been waking up feeling lost or invisible, please hear this. You are not done yet. You still have chapters to write, lives to touch, laughter to share. You are not a burden, you are not forgotten, you are not useless, you are becoming. And the moment you step into one of these 5 roles, whether it's waving at the mailman, picking up a book, nurturing a houseplant, baking a cake, or sharing your story with someone younger, you will begin to feel it, purpose. Not because the world tells you you're valuable, but because you know it inside yourself. So here's what I'd love for you to do. Think about just one of these roles, the one that tugged at your heart the most, and take one small step toward it today. Not tomorrow, not next week. Today. Call that neighbor, join that class, water that plant, write that poem, tell that story. You don't have to do everything, just one thing. Because every step you take back toward purpose is a step away from loneliness, doubt, and regret. And remember, your purpose doesn't have to be loud to be powerful. Sometimes it's a whisper that only your soul can hear, but it changes everything. Before we end, I want to say thank you for showing up for yourself, for watching this video, for opening your heart, and for considering the idea that life still has incredible things in store for you. If anything we talked about today resonated with you, I'd love for you to share your thoughts in the comments. What role are you ready to step into? What helped you feel a sense of purpose again after retirement? Your story could be exactly what someone else needs to hear today. And if you found this video helpful, please like it and subscribe to the channel. We're here to support you, to inspire you, and to remind you that age is not a limitation. It's a superpower. Here's to becoming who you were always meant to be. Here's to living your best life. At any age,